Today we are here to talk about Chanel for the holidays. And the reason I'm starting off with a slightly or uncharacteristically somber tone is this review is going to be a little bit conflicted. I want to talk about Chanel Holiday and the releases. My review is a little bit late for so many reasons, including the fact that there has just been a deluge of new products and, you know, whatever I do first in order, put something else third, fourth, fifth, you know, they stack up. But also I was late at getting it. I wanted to go to my Chanel boutique. I love to see my sales associate, Nazi. She is, I consider her a personal friend at this point because I've worked with her for so long. So I love going to see her. I wanted to get in there. And it delayed my review even more, and I'm actually okay with it, because that delay has given me time to think and form some opinions actually on this particular Chanel holiday release, if I may intellectualize beauty a little bit, as you guys know that I tend to do. So there are timestamps below, but we're going to be looking at it, talking about it, swatching everything outside in the warm California sunshine, trying to make an eyeshadow palette, a face palette, you know, the typical things that we do here on Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. I'm a fashion and beauty editor who has spent about a quarter of a century in the trenches with some of the biggest names in fashion and beauty, writing about them, following them around, ghostwriting for them, interviewing them, watching them work, etc. And that has given me the bright idea to start Not Fit for Print Beauty, because we're digital now, right here on YouTube. Okay, so Chanel, like everybody else, and why shouldn't they, has a holiday release. And this consisted of, they have some limited edition lip shades. They have a 4-pan with cool tones in it that I know my partner in Beauty Crime, Han, at Han Beauty 101 will have, that cool tone, a 4-pan. They made some highlighters, a pink and kind of a peachy highlighter that I skipped, you guys. Now, I do not buy makeup on this channel. And again, there's timestamps below if I'm rambling on. I do not buy products for, I'm not a hobbyist channel. What's the difference? A hobbyist channel buys products for themselves and shares them with you. I am a professional review channel, so I will buy products just to review for you. And I love Chanel. I love Chanel Beauty. I didn't really love those blushes. I think they were a little bit chalky. They weren't my favorite. I skipped them rather than just attack them. I don't run a negative channel, and I thought, you know what, I really just don't like those. I'm not going to buy something to come on here and go, I hate it. I just don't. We're not negative-y like that. They weren't my favorite. I skipped them. I'm going to be honest with you. The lip shades I felt I'd seen before. What I was really left with, you guys, and the 4-pan palette I know Han is going to get and looks good in those cool shades. So I'm looking forward to seeing her review on that. But it left us with 3 different 9-pan palettes that come in this really pretty Chanel box, almost like Chanel jewelry, if you've ever seen that before. And they're small. You know, in the pictures I saw of these early, there's been so many leaks. They looked so big, almost like a Pat McGrath mega palette, you know. But look, it's really palm-sized. That's a 9-pan. It's really palm-sized. They're $160, and there were 3 of them. I picked one. First of all, they've been advertised everywhere. Everyone who wanted to see swatches has seen them. And what I chose was Daring Muse. Okay? I don't know which one. Han's going to get 2 of them. No one is really getting that one with kind of the chartreuse green. I think Han might get this one and she'll get the other that has some blues in it. This has some cool tone shades that I'm not excited about, but it has enough warm tones that I think will work with my coloring. So we're going to try that today. And I want to try this red shade as a blush because I brought over this Wayne Goss number 3 brush, and look at it. It's kind of got the nice little painterly tip. I thought we could get in there and see if we could make a blush and a highlight out of this palette. Why? I don't know. Why not? I always do that. I like to do that. You know, my question, does it face palette? I always want to know because it's $160. I want to do the whole face. So we couldn't resist trying one of the 9 pans. You know, and so we're trying one of the 9 pans because they're $160. And there are a lot. If you like cool tones, that quad might be just up your alley. And if you love Chanel lipsticks, those might be also. I am not running the kind of channel that's going to come on here and say, this is a terrible collection. I do not think it's Chanel's best, but I don't think it's terrible. I think Chanel makeup is beautiful. You just got to see if it's up your alley, right? And I prefer to be that than negative. But I wasn't thrilled by the highlighters. I'll be honest. All right, let's take a look at Daring Muse. This is the $160 one of the 3 9-pans. Let's take a look at it outside in the warm California sunshine. There are the swatches. It is very pretty. It's not crazy impactful. I don't know if that's what you're looking for. And the red skipped a little bit, as you see on my swatch. The one I'm hoping to use as a blush skipped a little bit. Before we condemn it, we don't wear makeup on our arms, we wear it on our face. So let's see how it performs on the face before we decide anything, please. Okay, and we're gonna play with it. I will not be able to, we'll do 2 different eye looks. I will not be able to test every single color or shade in here because I'm not gonna just keep washing my eyes, but I will make sure we, you know, we've got some mattes and some shimmer, you know, I'll make sure we try all the different textures and see how they go. But chances are I figured you guys have seen these somewhere already because I am a bit late on it. Okay, so let's go ahead and try. I'm gonna use this brush I told you about because I think that painterly tip will fit right in here, and it does. And this could be an absolute disaster, but let's go ahead and try this on the cheeks and see what happens. It works. See, I thought it was a bit patchy in swatching, but I'm telling you, my experience tells me you got to try it on the face. And I think this will, therefore, face palette. And this is a deep enough shade that it's going to work on most skin shades, too. Sometimes I always tell you, when I make things into a face palette, I have to admit to you that it's, you know, complexion dependent, skin tone dependent. But this, put it across the nose a little bit. That works. You know, it's overdone. Maybe overdo it on this side just to kind of match a little bit. Okay, so that's a little bit overdone just so you can see it. I wouldn't do it that extreme. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of cute and it works. It does work. You're spending $160, right? So let's get something out of it. Okay, we have 2 different mattes. So let's take a look. This is a 15 mini from Rephr. And I'm going to dip in there. These mattes do look a bit dark, so I'm going to dip in there. And we have 1 matte on the cheek. So I am dipping in there and just putting, you know what? That's really pretty. That blends beautifully. Look at that. Into the crease. Really pretty. Could this be a bronzer? This brown shade? Yeah, but that's so skin dependent. I'm not going to do that. I try to make things a face palette, but if it gets like really ridiculous, like using this brown eyeshadow as a bronzer, I think that might be a step too far. I'm just saying. Okay. So I'm going to actually put that brown, since we already used this matte on the cheeks, we've tried it. I'm just going to put this brown in the crease of both eyes. That's really pretty. And I'm very pleased with that. That blends beautifully. So good job, Chanel. It blends absolutely beautifully. And, you know, frankly, I think that the other shade, I really just wanted to try 2 matte shades, and this does work on the cheeks. So it's a blendable, a pretty shade. All right. So let's see. Let's continue on, and I want to try to use, you know, a few of the other tones that are in here. I'm going to take the brush that we took from Wayne Goss, and let's try one of these as a highlighter. Let's try this very top one. So we won't put this on the eyes, but maybe we'll try to highlight with it a little bit and see if it works. And it does. So it does face palette. And I know some of you are thinking, well, what's the difference between what you're doing and using a brown shade as a bronzer? Well, maybe nothing, but to my mind, it just starts getting silly with the bronzer. And I'm not trying to be silly or a mockery. I just want to know if it's going to work on the face. And I think it does. That's really pretty. Okay, now that we've done that, let's go ahead and let's work with our Rephr number 2 now. And I'm going to go into the inner corner with this kind of pearly shade right here. Very pretty, very subtle. Maybe even a bit too subtle, but very pretty. And if you have a deeper skin tone, that would actually look lovely. I'm just going to brighten up the inner corners of the eyes, and I'm not angry at that. I got to tell you guys, these blend beautifully. The formula is quite lovely. You know, I don't know what you guys have heard sensationally, and I've said this so often. De-influencing is often more manipulative than influencing because anger sells. So if I came on here and went, this is ridiculous, and you're paying for it, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to anger the mob and the masses. I'm not trying to attack any creators, especially no one in particular, because I haven't watched it. But I just know people have been having a lot of hate for this, and I don't think that's well-founded, to be honest. You know, you either like this and you're going to purchase it or you won't. All right, so let's keep this Rephr number 2 and go into this really pretty gold shade. And I am going to just pack it on to the lid here. Almost like a one and done. But I'm going to blend it with that pretty brown matte underneath it. Come on, that's not... I mean, that is... Come on, that is a pretty look for the eyes. It is. That's pretty. And how about on this eye? All right, let's do it. I am not a huge fan of these blues and these kind of shades, but let's try it. Let's try it. Let's pack this one on using the other side of this brush. I might regret it, but let's do it. And let's just see if it's patchy. A teeny bit. It's hard to make a blue. Not the best shade. A little bit patchy, a little bit patchy. Interestingly enough, I found the red a little patchy on swatching, but not on the cheeks. This one is a little patchy. It's a little patchy. It's not bad, though. I was able to, force it into submission, but it wanted to be a bit patchy. And if you had some maybe inferior brushes you were working with, it might give you some problems. But that's pretty. I went through a mermaid phase where I loved eye looks like this years ago. On this channel, actually. But I'm out of that now. Yeah, it's a little bit patchy. It's pretty, though. I'm going to play with this blue. I'm going to ruin this eye look right now, just because I just want to see. I just want to see what happens. I'm not really ruining it because I'm blending it. Okay. Interesting. All right, so I can do this pretty quickly. Is it worth the $160? I'm not your bank manager. That you have to decide. But let me tell you, it does face palette. If you throw this in your, if you're spending $160, you'll get a blush eye highlighter out of it. These sparkly shades are absolutely gorgeous, but the highly pigmented ones are going to skip a little bit. These are going to skip a little bit. Let me take a Rephr number 3 and see if this black one is, or kind of grayish blackish charcoal is going to skip it all. Yeah. Okay, so I don't like the highly pigmented shades that much. These 3 I think are going to skip just a little bit. This highly pigmented matte skipped on swatching, but not on the eyes. This brown was absolutely lovely. And all these other shades, especially this gorgeous gold one, were sumptuous and delightful. So it's a grab bag. It's a grab bag. And in fact, I'm going to say the whole collection by this particular collection by Chanel is a grab bag. But I refuse to be sensationalist about this. You know, it's not Chanel's best release. It's a great brand. And this is a little bit under their standard, but it's still fun. If you own this, if you're given this as a gift, you're going to enjoy it. In fact, I don't even mind the blue I mixed in over the gold to kind of warm it up. I think it's a pretty eye look. It was beautiful on the cheeks. The brown was a lovely experience. It's a bit of a grab bag. I don't think it's their best work, but I don't think it means they've jumped the shark, as we say in America, or anything like that. I just think it's not their best. It's pretty for holiday. If you get it as a gift, I think you're going to enjoy it. It comes in this really nice box with this really lovely Chanel presentation. And you might like that. There's also a mascara. It's kind of a colorful, pretty mascara. There's some nail varnishes that are very pretty. And the lipsticks, though I feel I've seen the shades before, you know, they're still lovely Chanel lipsticks. I'm not a fan of the highlighters, and I think some of the shades in this 9 pan could be better. Let's put it that way. And you know, then you have to make your own decision after that. It's innovative and it's interesting, and I appreciate that from Chanel. Pricey and, you know, okay, so you guys decide and you tell me who has purchased this, because I am late with this review. So let me know if you've purchased it. Let me know what you're thinking. Maybe that quad. I've heard good things about the quad. So, you know, let me know all of these things and all of your thoughts. Please, I'll meet you guys down in the comments to talk about it. Plus, of course, you know, I'm over on Instagram and TikTok. And we're going to talk about this for sure this weekend. We have a membership that meets, has a weekly live here every Friday. You can watch the replay if you can't make the live. If you're a member, we'll definitely talk about it there. We expand on things and we gossip and we have a lot of fun. So we'd love to see you on our membership. You know, I'm also over on Facebook. Everything we talk about is going to be down below in the description bar, or where I can up here in YouTube shopping. The Chanel is Catches Catch Can, so I'll watch for that to be able to tell you what's up with that collection. I'm really curious about my comment section on this one. Some of you are going to be angry at the price and the quality, and some of you are going to be diehard Chanel fans. I find myself somewhere in the middle on this one, and I think that's okay too. Don't give up on Chanel, because they'll surprise you. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me know. Stay here for all the other new releases coming up, and I look forward to seeing you. Make sure you're subscribed in the next video. Bye-bye.